So this is video 1 for setting up a theme and variations assignment in HookTheory in the HookPad app. So the opening screen should look much like this, but if it doesn't, just click in this section here that's flashing to add notes. I think the first thing to do is to add your theme. In order to do that, you need to choose what meter you're in. I'm doing Twinkle Twinkle as my example, so I need to be in a 2 meter. And then I want to choose my key, and my example is going to be in C major, but you could start in any key. And you might want to choose tempo, but you can always change that at any time. So mainly it's the meter and the key that you need to choose. And of course here you'll see the notes of the C major scale, which across the bottom, and the numbered scale degrees in colours, which makes it a bit easier to see them. And over here I'm going to choose 1, which means 1 beat. And as you can see, this box is a bar, and each tiny little box within there is a beat. Just to be certain you understand this, have a real zoom into this rhythm thing in HookTheory. It might be a little bit confusing because of the way they've named them, so I've done a little legend here. 1 is referring to 1 beat. So a whole bar is usually 4 beats, and that's what it looks like in HookTheory. Usually a whole bar is 4 beats with the black line. 2 means a minim, and 4 means a semibreve, which makes sense. Half is half a beat, and you can see how much smaller it is, and a quarter is a quarter of a beat. So if you wanted ticker ticker, you'd need 4 quarters. If you wanted TT, you'd need 2 halves, half beats to make 1 whole beat. If you wanted crotchets or tars, you need 1 beat. If you want to use something a bit more complicated like a dotted rhythm like tum, ti, tar, you'd need a crotchet, which is 1, plus a quaver, which is half. So you click on 1, make sure you can press the plus, then click on half, and then you'll see that that lasts for 1 beat plus a half a beat. And then if you wanted tum ti, which is a common rhythm, you'd only have a little baby T left after it. And I put them on different notes so it was a little bit easier to see. I've got a crotchet on. I'm going to press a 1, 5, 5. And you'll notice how the 5s go to the wrong 5 because we really want the one up the octave. So I could select that and just say raise octave. That'd be nice and quick, but I could also drag it up with the arrow keys or the mouse. Now here I need a minim, which is 2 beats long. I can either drag the edge of the note, or I could have changed it over here, either way. But now I need 1s again. And same thing here, I need a minim, so I need to drag it out to the end. So typing in your theme is the first thing. As you would realise, I'm sure, the scale degrees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are the same as the sol, fa, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. The next thing I think would be the best idea would be to select the theme, the bars of the theme, which is bars 1 to 8, until they're highlighted in blue, and pop up to this thing called sections. And we want to use the pencil to create a new section, and we want to call this the theme statement, or just theme would be okay. And double check here it's measure 1 to 8. All lovely, and we press OK. And also I might just point out that you can zoom horizontally. It depends on how many variations you want, but I would think for most it'll be between 3 and 5, and each one of those is going to be the same length as the theme, probably. So what you could do is pre-set up your sections by calling them variation 1, 2, 3 and so on. And I'm going to add some measures. You can see this plus thing is going to give me add 8 because I think it's pretty smart and it knows that I want to do another 8. And you know, that might be enough, but anyway, it also makes it easy to get to where you're working, and you can shuffle them to try out different orders. And if you did that, of course, you'd have to rename them, but that's a really handy aspect of the program. So between 3 and 5 variations is the idea. I think I'll put in 1 more. Oh, look at that, I can copy and paste a section. That's pretty fabulous, isn't it? And that way I just can rename it. you would probably just put a fairly simple generic harmony with this. And from memory, I think it was 1-1-4-1-4-1-5-1 in the original. So at this point, I've roughed out the form of the piece, and I ended up making 7 versions because just in case I want sort of somewhere to scribble, you can make as many as you like because you can always delete them and move them around and all the rest of it. So I think the best next plan is to select all of this material of the theme, go up to the copy menu and paste it over and over again throughout the piece. It's a radical idea, but as you would remember, and I'm just going to keep doing this until I have finished. So look at this. This is ridiculous, isn't it? I've got the exact same thing 8 times. But you and I both know that a theme and variations is basically the same short piece over and over again, but you keep on changing and decorating it so that it isn't too boring. And you'll recall that the things we can choose are timbre, different bands, different instruments, keys for the circle of fifths game, and tempos. So that's what I'm going to do now. But I've just roughed it out in HookTheory, and I'm going to save this with a new name, my Twinkle Theme and Variations Assignment version 2 rough draft. And all I've done, I've set up the structure of the piece, I've typed in the melody, I've typed in the chords, and I've pasted that information into each section. And now I'm going to start making changes to the elements of music, such as changing key, changing tempo, and changing band. And as you know, when you play it back, it'll be the generic hook pad default with the drums muted. I wouldn't worry too much about timbre, and I'd be more interested in melody, rhythm, and harmony variations, and keys, and tempos. And I sort of feel like timbre, like which band you're going to play it in, or which layers are going to be muted or put up the octave, would be something for a bit later in the drafting process. And of course, I should have done this straight up. If I was a student, I'd save it as my name and then the task, 10MUA2, and then this would be draft 1.